We've been tackling a really important problem recently. If you ask anybody in your IT department, they'll all tell you that the biggest problem they have right now is getting to that backlog of problems. You may have heard of the long tail problem. You know, the long tail is this idea that every business focuses on those highly complex and highly profitable problems that they solve, but those small onesie-twosie things, you never get round to it. It comes from this idea of a long tail, you know, like this thing here, right? Just think about it. If you imagine that this curve of this tail represents all the products and services that you sell, then there are some products that you sell that you can sell hundreds of, and you make a really nice profit on those. But every now and again, a customer comes along and says, oh, can you make me some one-off thing? And there's really not very much profit in those onesie-twosie things. So what we find ourselves doing in IT is taking that same approach to the projects we get asked to work on. You know, we get those really big projects, the new ERP system, the new CRM system, the new payroll or HR system, and those are really big, meaty projects, and we throw hundreds of resources at those things. And in fact, what we found is that on average, if you talk to any IT department, they're working on 10 to 20 projects at any one time, and each one of those projects is taking 5 to 10% of the new application development budget. But if you talk to the end users, there are thousands of projects that they want us to do in IT that we never get round to. And this is what we call the long tail. What's interesting is that each one of those projects, while it might only satisfy maybe a small team or a department, or maybe just a single executive, when you add up the value in all of those projects, those thousands of projects, there's just as much value to the business as there is in all of those 10 to 20 major projects that IT is working on. The problem is, though, we just don't have the resources to take on the onesie-twosie projects. So what do? We've got to find a way of empowering our end users to develop their own software. I know the idea of the end user developing their own software, the accountant writing some Java applications, ridiculous. And it is, frankly. But you know what? They're doing it. They're doing it already. We call this shadow IT. And out there in your end user community right now, you've got hundreds of developers. They're writing Excel macros, they're writing Access databases, they're downloading stuff from the net, they're picking up open source software, and they're implementing that into your production systems. And you know what? They're knocking at your door and saying, hey, open up our business systems, our core IT systems, to my little systems so I can interact with you directly. The last thing we want in the business is any number of people taking orders through any number of systems, because there's no control. There's no standardization. We're not going to meet all of our compliance requirements. And so what we have then are all these people out in the business doing their own thing, not connected to central IT. So what do we have to do? We have to find a way of providing a common platform for interoperability between those core IT systems and the shadow IT systems that everybody out there is building. Well, that's arrived. SOA has become the de facto standard for how people implement applications today. SOA provides a universal way of connecting technologies together. And that means if we can empower our end users with a technology that lets them develop applications that can connect to the SOA interfaces to our major business systems, we're going to end up with a common platform for interoperability and a common platform for business applications across the entire enterprise. And instead of having chaos of Excel here and Access there, we can have one platform, an SOA-based platform, that enables the end users to mash together the information that's in our core IT systems with information out there in the internet cloud, information coming from, say, Dun & Bradstreet or Salesforce.com, and bring together new applications to their desktop that help them do their business better without adding to the burden of IT. And in fact, taking that monkey off IT's back. Because right now, everybody in IT is unhappy about the fact that we never get to that IT backlog. That stuff in the long tail, we never get to that. But if the end users can develop that software themselves and connect to applications both within our organization and outside our organization, they can do their job much better. If you think about it, one of the great ironies of our business is that the CIO, you know, the person with information in their job title, is the least well-informed person of all the executives in the corporation. The CIO's team spends all of their time providing information to the CFO, to the CEO, to the chief operating officer. But for some reason, the CIO, it's like the cobbler's children. The CIO never has information that clearly explains what's going on inside their own IT department. So how about this? How about if we can provide a comprehensive dashboard that provides end-to-end visibility from project inception to project completion of all the things that are going on in IT, and now, because we have a common development platform for all the things that are going on in shadow IT, what we end up with is an end-to-end project visibility for all the IT projects that are going on. And we get to see the value of those projects cumulatively to the business. We started off being in the business of helping people safely deliver applications into production, and we're in that business again today. I've got to take this call. Thanks for chatting to me.